Jeremiah. Chapter 9. Oh, that my head were waters, and my eye a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had a traveler's lodging place in the wilderness, that I might leave my people and go away from them, for all of them are adulterers and an assembly of treacherous men. They bend their tongue like their bow, falsehood, and not truth, prevails in the land, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they do not know me, declares Jehovah. Let each man be on guard against his neighbor and not confide in any brother, for every brother only supplants, and every neighbor goes about as a slanderer. And everyone deceives his neighbor and does not speak the truth, they teach their tongue to speak falsehood, they weary themselves committing iniquity. Your dwelling is in the midst of deceit, through deceit they refuse to know me, declares Jehovah. Therefore thus says Jehovah of hosts, indeed, I will refine them and test them, for what else can I do because of the daughter of my people? Their tongue is a deadly arrow, it speaks deceit. Each speaks peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in his heart he lays an ambush for him. Shall I not punish them for these things? Declares Jehovah, and on a nation such as this shall my soul not avenge itself. For the mountains I will take up a weeping and wailing, and for the pastures of the wilderness, a lamentation, because they have been burned up so that no one passes through, and the sound of cattle is not heard, both the birds of the sky and the beasts have fled and have gone. And I will make Jerusalem a heap of ruins, a habitation of jackals, and I will make the cities of Judah a desolation without inhabitant. Who is the wise man who can understand this, and he to whom the mouth of Jehovah has spoken, that he might declare it? Why is the land destitute, burned like the wilderness, so that no one passes through? And Jehovah said, because they have forsaken my law, which I set before them, and have not listened to my voice or walked in my law, but have walked after the stubbornness of their heart and after the Baals, as their fathers taught them. Therefore thus says Jehovah of hosts, the God of Israel, I will feed them, this people, with wormwood and give them poisonous water to drink. And I will scatter them among the nations, whom neither they nor their fathers knew, and send the sword after them until I have consumed them. Thus says Jehovah of hosts, consider, and call for the mourning women to come, and send for the skillful women to come. Let them hasten and take up a wailing for us, that our eyes may shed tears and our eyelids may pour forth water. For a voice of wailing was heard from Zion, how we are ruined. We are utterly put to shame. For we have forsaken the land because they have cast down our dwellings. Therefore listen, O women, to the word of Jehovah, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and let each teach her neighbor a lamentation. For death has come up through our windows, it has entered our palaces to cut off the children from the streets, the young men from the open squares. Speak, thus declares Jehovah, and the corpses of men will fall like dung on the surface of the field and like a sheaf after the reaper, and there will be no one to gather them. Thus says Jehovah, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, and let not the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches. But let him who glories glory in this, that he has insight and knows me, that I am Jehovah who exercises loving kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth, for in these things I delight, declares Jehovah. Indeed, days are coming, declares Jehovah, when I will punish all those who are circumcised and yet uncircumcised. Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all those who cut the corners of their beards, who inhabit the wilderness, for all the nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel is uncircumcised in heart. Jeremiah. Chapter 10. Hear the word which Jehovah speaks to you, O house of Israel. Thus says Jehovah, do not learn the way of the nations, and do not be terrified by the signs of the heavens, although the nations are terrified by them. For the customs of the peoples are vanity, because their God is a tree cut from the forest, the work of the hands of a craftsman with an axe. He adorns it with silver and with gold, they fasten it with nails and hammers so that it cannot totter. They are like a post in a cucumber field, and they cannot speak, they must be carried because they cannot walk. Do not be afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, and neither is it in them to do good. There is none like you, O Jehovah, you are great, and your name is great in might. Who would not fear you, O King of the nations? For it befits you, for among all the wise of the nations and in all their kingdoms there is none like you. But they are altogether stupid and foolish, the instruction of their idols is mere wood. Beaten silver is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz, the work of a craftsman and of the hands of a goldsmith. Their clothing is blue and purple, all of them are the work of skillful men. But Jehovah is the true God, he is the living God and the eternal King. At his wrath the earth quakes, and the nations cannot endure his indignation. Thus you shall say to them, the gods that did not make the heavens and the earth, these will perish from the earth and from under the heavens. It is he who made the earth by his power, who established the world by his wisdom, and by his understanding he stretched out the heavens. When he utters his voice, there is a tumult of waters in the heavens, and he causes the vapors to rise from the ends of the earth, he makes lightning for the rain and brings forth wind from his treasuries. Every man is stupid, without knowledge, every goldsmith is put to shame by his idol, for his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity, the work of delusion, at the time of their punishment they will perish. The portion of Jacob is not like these, for he is the one who formed everything, and Israel is the tribe of his inheritance, Jehovah of hosts is his name. Gather up your bundle from the ground, O inhabitant under siege. For thus says Jehovah, I will sling out the inhabitants of the land at this time, and I will bring distress on them, that they may find it. Woe is me because of my hurt. My wound is grievous. But I said, truly this is my one affliction, and I must bear it. My tent is destroyed, and all my cords are broken, my children have gone from me and they are not, there is no one who will spread out my tent again and set up my curtains. For the shepherds are stupid and have not sought Jehovah, therefore they have not prospered, and all their flock is scattered. The sound of a report. Here it comes, even a great commotion from the land of the north, to make the cities of Judah a desolation, a habitation of jackals. I know, O Jehovah, that a man's way is not in himself, it is not in the man who walks to direct his step. Correct me, O Jehovah, but in measure, not in your anger lest you bring me to nothing. Pour out your wrath on the nations who do not know you and upon the families who do not call upon your name, for they have consumed Jacob, yes, consumed him and brought him to an end, and they have desolated his habitation. Jeremiah. Chapter 11. The word that came to Jeremiah from Jehovah, saying, Listen to the words of this covenant and speak them to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And you shall say to them, Thus says Jehovah the God of Israel, Cursed is the man who does not listen to the words of this covenant, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, from the iron furnace, saying, Listen to my voice and do the things according to all which I command you, and you will be my people and I will be your God. That I may establish the oath which I swore to your fathers, to give them a land flowing with milk and honey, as it is this day. And I answered and said, Amen, Jehovah. And Jehovah said to me, proclaim all these words in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, saying, Hear the words of this covenant and do them. For I solemnly warned your fathers in the day that I brought them up from the land of Egypt, even to this day, rising up early in warning, saying, Listen to my voice. But they did not listen or incline their ear, but all walked in the stubbornness of their evil heart. Therefore I brought upon them all the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do, and they have not done them. And Jehovah said to me, A conspiracy has been found among the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They have turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers, who refused to listen to my words, and they have gone after other gods to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant which I made with their fathers. Therefore thus says Jehovah, I am about to bring evil upon them, from which they cannot escape, and they will cry to me, but I will not listen to them. Then the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem will go and cry to the gods to whom they burn incense, but they will not save them at all in the time of their trouble. For according to the number of your cities are your gods, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem you have set up altars to that shameful thing, altars to burn incense to Baal. And as for you, do not pray for this people, nor lift up a ringing cry or a prayer for them, for I will not hear when they call to me because of their trouble. What has my beloved to do in my house, since she has committed lewdness with many and the holy flesh has passed from you? When you do evil, then you rejoice. Jehovah called your name, a flourishing olive tree, beautiful in fruit and form, with the sound of a great tumult he has set fire to it, and its branches are broken. And Jehovah of hosts, who planted you, has pronounced evil against you because of the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, which they have done for themselves, to provoke me to anger by burning incense to Baal. And Jehovah made it known to me, so I knew, then you showed me their deeds. And I was like a gentle lamb led to the slaughter, and I did not know that they devised devices against me, saying, Let us destroy the tree with its fruit, and let us cut him off from the land of the living that his name be remembered no longer. But, O Jehovah of hosts, who judges righteously, who tests the inward parts and the heart, let me see your vengeance on them, for I have revealed my cause to you. Therefore thus says Jehovah concerning the men of Anathoth, who seek your life, saying, Do not prophesy in the name of Jehovah, that you may not die by our hand. Therefore thus says Jehovah of hosts, I am about to punish them. The young men will die by the sword, their sons and their daughters will die by famine. And they will have no remnant, because I will bring evil to the men of Anathoth in the year of their visitation.